Close your eyes for a moment. Now open them. Is the world you see real because it exists? Or does it exist because you see it? Is your consciousness simply perceiving reality, or is it creating it? As strange as this question may seem, many of the founding fathers of quantum mechanics, those who gave birth to the most successful theory in science, seriously believed in this very idea. And yet, even centuries earlier, ancient religions like Hinduism and philosophies like Vedanta described this world as an illusion. But is it really an illusion? Or is it something deeper? And more importantly, how does Islam respond to this? Today, we begin a four-part journey, one that will explore quantum mechanics, consciousness, and the design of the universe through the lens of science and the Qur'an. And I promise by the end of this series, you'll never see the world the same way again. To understand why scientists began to believe in such mystical-sounding ideas, we must go back to what is perhaps the most powerful experiment in history, the double slit experiment. It's the backbone of quantum theory, and it challenges our very definition of reality. In simple terms, when light passes through two slits, it creates a pattern on the screen that looks like waves overlapping, called an interference pattern. But the moment we try to observe which slit the light passes through, something shocking happens. The wave pattern disappears, and instead, light behaves like a particle. This phenomenon, light behaving as both wave and particle, completely shook the scientific world. In the 17th century, scientists were split. Group A, led by Isaac Newton, believed light was made of particles. Group B, led by Dutch physicist Christian Huygens, believed light was a wave. Newton's prestige carried the day, and for a century, particle theory was dominant. But in the 19th century, two powerful experiments challenged that. British physicist Thomas Young demonstrated wave interference in 1804, and French physicist Arago did the same in 1819. Wave theory began to rise. But then, in the early 20th century, two more experiments flipped the tables again. In 1905, Albert Einstein introduced the photoelectric effect, showing that light could eject electrons from metal only in discrete particle-like packets, what we now call photons. And in 1923, Arthur Compton showed that X-rays collided with electrons like particles, transferring energy. Suddenly, particle theory was back. The scientific world was in awe. Light was both a wave and a particle. But how can that be? Then came a revolutionary idea. If light could act like a wave and a particle, what about matter? Could electrons, quarks, and all particles of matter also behave like waves? French physicist Louis de Broglie said yes, and in 1927, his theory was confirmed through the Davison-Germer experiment. Electrons showed wave interference too. That's right, you and I, our bodies, our world, our matter, also behave like waves at a quantum level. This wasn't just strange, it was mind-blowing. And now, let's pause and reflect through the lens of the Qur'an. Quantum physics tells us that everything we see, solid matter, objects, even ourselves, arises from unseen forces, from possibilities, from waves. Yet over 14 centuries ago, the Qur'an already revealed this unseen process of creation. He is the one who created everything in the best way. He began the creation of man from clay. Then he made his descendants from an extract of a humble fluid. Surah As-Sajdah, verses 7 and 8. Does this not sound like the transformation from the unseen to the seen? From potential to reality? Just like the wave collapses into matter, the human being is formed from a formless origin. And Allah says again, and indeed, we created man from an extract of clay. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we developed the drop into a clinging clot, then the clot into a lump. Surah Al-Mu'minoon, verses 12 to 14. Each stage, like layers of a divine blueprint, unseen, silent, mysterious, until finally, life takes shape. Just as quantum particles collapse into being, Allah brings creation forth from the unseen. Now here's where things get even more mysterious. At the quantum level, particles do not have definite positions. They exist in a state of probabilities, a wave function, until something interacts with them. Then the wave collapses into a specific outcome. But what causes the collapse? This became the ultimate puzzle of quantum mechanics. Was it our measurement, our observation, our consciousness? Scientists like Schrödinger and Heisenberg turned to philosophy. They even explored Eastern spiritual traditions like Vedanta to understand what was happening. But what does Islam say? Islam teaches us that only Allah knows the unseen. He says in the Qur'an, and with Him are the keys of the unseen. It was the particle's interaction with its environment, like air molecules, light, or a detector. These interactions cause the particle's wave function to lose its coherence. The quantum waves go out of sync and collapse, not because of consciousness, but because of natural physical processes. In other words, it's not magic, it's physics. The Qur'an says, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth." Surah Fussilat, verse 53. Quantum decoherence is just that, a sign that this universe operates under divine laws far beyond what we can see. And perhaps it reminds us of another verse. Do they not reflect upon themselves? Allah created the heavens and the earth and everything between them in truth and for an appointed term. Surah Ar-Rum, verse 8. Even the particles of the universe have their limits, their appointed roles, just like us. So what have we learned today? That matter is not what it seems. That reality is shaped by unseen processes. That light, matter, and even you and I exist in ways far stranger than we can imagine. But above all, we've learned that science does not contradict faith. Rather, it points toward the incredible design of a creator. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper into the mystery of quantum entanglement, teleportation, and how modern science may be discovering what Islam has always known.